You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings.
Why are you listening to this show?
The podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
Who doesn't love canals? Speaking of canals, I saw a story that Miami is the rudest city in America.
Yep. That's bullshit.
Hey, you, Amin. How dare you? The summer of championships continues. Yeah, this is one that we wanted.
I don't agree. I don't agree though. I don't think Miami is overtly ruder than most other American cities.
Overtly, huh?
We're not overtly rude. I think Lucy kind of experienced this in that no one's going to go out of their way, or really not even out of their way. No one's just going to be nice to you because. And
you're not going to get a lot of hellos and friendly head nods.
We're not a pleasant people. It's like and Lucy is such a pleasant person that I understand why she was like this town's kind of odd, because Lucy is absolutely the kind of person that would, like, you open a door, hi, good morning. And that's not really the vibe that you get.
I feel like this is a very Midwestern, like, oh, no one said hello to me on my walk to the school.
Don't be condescending to the Midwest.
I'm looking at you.
I just said to Tony a second ago, he said New York didn't make the list. And I said New York is probably the most neighborly place that I've ever lived. Everyone there, yes. My experience in New York City was a very pleasant one with my neighbors, with people that worked at the bodega, with people that worked at wherever I went, whoever I interacted with. Like, people I feel like look out for you in a way. You don't know that they are. They're not going to do it in a way that is like overt. Saccharine, like in the Midwest where you get but there's also the Midwest.
Could I mow your lawn for you? Like, shut up, leave me alone.
The Midwest nice thing is a little misunderstood because it's like nice, but there's a little bit of a
shade. There's a little shade there. It's like, can I mow your lawn? I've noticed that it's gotten a little long. Like, shut up.
About like 5 years ago, Amin and I did like a whole bit on New York and why I didn't like it, and I found it like the most overrated city. But I do think in recent years that I've gone to New York, I found it a lot more pleasant. I think it came out of the pandemic nicely. They're fixing the garbage problem.
No,
they're trying to fix the garbage problem.
An endless cycle of we found out about garbage cans and then back to garbage bags and then we found out about garbage cans.
Nah, it's look, man.
So this is not a real thing. They're not actually going to finally get garbage cans on the side of the road.
Nope. I think it's neighborhood by neighborhood. Like certain parts of New York, I think have when the rat infestation gets really bad, they address it and then they move on.
Are you talking about like the residential
5 years later, it happens again?
Trash thing? That's never going to happen in New York. That's never going to happen.
I just want to be able to walk the street and not have to avoid garbage bags on the street.
No, they literally are. Like right now, that is one of New York. They're doing that.
That's never going to happen. I look at me right now. I don't care what they're doing, what they're planning. I'm telling you, that's never going to happen.
But it's happening. I'm not saying it's working. But it is currently happening.
Yes, it's happening. Like me working out is happening, right? Like,
you going today?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, see, that's how it works, just like that. You going to go work out? Yeah, absolutely, right after the show.
They hired a rat czar.
They did hire. They hired a rat czar. Unfortunately, there was a Bolshevik revolution, and the rats took over, and now they're running the show. Dude, I've gotten to the point where I don't even, when I'm walking down the street in New York, I don't even react anymore, man. I'm like, all right, man, you got it. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What do you
I agree.
It's their city. It's their city.
We've lost this battle.
No. It's like the hackers with the social security numbers. What do you want me to do about it?
You're pulling.
What do you want me to do?
You're
got
pulling.
it. Okay.
Set up a credit freeze on Experian. I told you this last week.
No, I know, but what do I do with the rats? No, they're just there.
Yeah,
okay,
we're just pulling out of Afghanistan at this point. Look, okay, we tried.
Yeah,
we can't
I gave it the old college try.
There's so many issues here. It's just so hard to govern. You know what? We're out.
Miami's ahead of Boston too. Come on, what are we doing?
Miami's a rude town.
Look, Boston's a rude
dude. These are
town,
come on, guys, what are we doing?
These are things
that's a form of rudeness, Roy.
I kind of feel
point scale,
and I've been called out on people have had mixed experiences with me. Depending on what mood I'm in and who Miami's lost to. But I do kind of when I go elsewhere and people are nice, I'm like, what's this person's angle?
Which is why we have to be ready down here, which is the whole point.
I just stay ready so I never have to get ready.
Exactly. You guys don't get it.
If someone's nice to you, that means there's some sort of scam happening.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the way
Because in Miami, there is a scam happening.
Exactly. But that's why we are built
10 out of
and
10
forged
times.
in this
Yeah,
fire.
I'm
This
built
is
for
why
tough.
we're here.
But you
like, no, we're not rude. We just know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like you got an angle. Yeah! Let it out! Like, you're saying hello to me because you want to install solar panels on my roof. I know this. I know this right now. Like, you're only saying hello to me because you want to install
Or
solar.
patch my tire. Dude,
My
good.
wife
Don't worry
got
about it.
caught yesterday. She's the door. Someone knocked the door. I'm like, don't answer
it.
Don't answer
Don't
it.
answer
She's just
it.
like, what? And she like answers it. She was there for 7 minutes.
Solar panel guy?
Just being like, not today. Oh, I'll take your car. She tried all the moves.
No.
Of like, give me.
I'll tell you what the move is right here. You open it. Hey, how about that? Bop. You got a slot in that door. Shut. Because this happened to me on my way yesterday. I did radio, and after I was done radio, I was like, I'm hungry. I'm gonna walk to Whole Foods. Right? This is new me, healthy me, whatever. I'm gonna walk to Whole Foods. Go to the hot bar there. On the way,
And get some French fries.
as I'm walking, exactly. As I'm walking, and I'm kind of like just looking around. I like looking down the street to see what's happening. Some guy's just like, "Hey, bro, excuse me," and I'm like, "Nope, keep walking," because like I know there is no reason to speak to anybody. There's
Not in this sound.
Like
Not
so
in this sound because
the
they are trying to scam you.
Chris, the idea that someone knocked on the door, rang the doorbell, like, were we expecting someone? No. You look on the Ring camera. Is it a delivery? No, because they would just drop it and move. It's someone waiting to speak. Like, I don't have people who come up to my house. Like, I mean, there are people who come up to my house, but I've instructed everyone who lives in my house, like, you don't open this door because there's no reason to.
I've already taught my daughter the old turn down the TV a little bit. We're being quiet right now.
Oh, I don't.
We're not answering this
pretending we're
door.
not.
Chris, I don't even have to pretend like I'm not home. You can sit out there, knock on the door, ring that bell.
Not answering.
I'm not coming to the door, bro. You want to leave me your card because you want to cut the trees or do whatever the hell? That's fine. You want to pool cleaning, whatever it is. You can leave your card, and maybe one day I might need that shit. And I'm like, you know what? This guy left his card, but I'm not gonna have a conversation with you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to people. I'm home. I do that shit for a living every day. I got to come here and figure out shit to talk about and wonder where the hell Pablo Torre is.
You should move here because you'd fit right in.
I do think that, from what I can tell, everyone here agrees there is a baseline level of rudeness in Miami, except Tony for some reason. Tony is the only one who's like, no, that's
Stand
not
up for
true.
my people.
He's
Like,
like,
we're not rude.
I
We
don't
just
think
know
Miami's
what's
rude.
going on.
He's the
That's
most
the
Miami
difference.
guy
With
I would
each other.
concede in this cast right now. He's the most Miami guy. And
Me second.
where most people get prickly.
A mean second, actually.
Yeah, a meme, like just
Where's
give
Mike, where's Mike Fuentes? Get him in here.
I saw that report and I kind of like a little part of me was like, yeah, damn right, we're number one.
So
that's good.
The other cities that are in Miami's class as far as rudest, Philadelphia and Tampa. Philadelphia.
Tampa catching a strike.
I can't
I
speak
believe
for Tampa.
that. I believe
I can't
that.
speak for Tampa. It's
Tom Brady's
like
legacy.
I can't.
Tampa's nicer than Miami in terms of like politeness, but Tampa is kind of mean. I'd be curious to know like if we've gotten progressively more rude since the pandemic, since all these people came to our town and moved here. Maybe New York. How about this? New York is getting more and more polite, and we're getting more and more rude. What's happening there? Huh?
They don't send their best.
What do you they're draining their prisons, their mental asylums.
sending 'em here.
They're sending them here. And oddly coincidental, right? Every time I go to New York,
was
I'm like,
just
oh,
me.
this place is cleaning.
I left, and it totally skewed everything.
So this is the other part of this that's funny, right? So the least rude cities, Omaha, Nebraska.
Who lives there?
To which I would say, not really a city.
No one actually even did data there. They're
Not
like,
really,
what
yeah.
place sounds nice? Hey, Omaha. Do you want to go there? Absolutely not.
I know
Let's just
people
put 'em
from
down.
Omaha. They're very nice.
Minneapolis.
Kevin
Baseball.
Clark.
World
Not
Series,
true.
it's great.
Not true. Minneapolis, I went there during the playoffs. I was not blown away by how nice everyone was. It was quite the opposite. I was like, what are we doing here? There's a lot of what are we doing here as a city. And then San Diego, California, that I do accept. It is a very nice town
Dude, I
because
love
it's
San
hard to
Diego.
be angry when the
Yeah,
weather's
they have no
beautiful.
reason to be rude in San Diego. They are living the life.
San Diego used to be my favorite city in the U.S. It was like around the turn of the century. I used to go there as a teenager. I loved it.
Till Tahoe.
Tahoe is great too. Tahoe is wonderful. But the last time I went to San Diego was just a couple of years ago. I'm like, damn, this place didn't change at all. like at all. Once a T-Rex came through here in Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, like they just decided, yeah, we're not going to build anything back up. It's just going to stay the exact same way it was in 1999. We added Petco. We'll give you that. Petco's beautiful, but that's pretty much about it.
Mike, you know what's something funny on that note of cities that have changed and haven't changed? I was talking about this with Mike Fuentes because we did this movie called The Pest on Cinephobe.
I tried out for The Pest. Did you know that?
Did you?
I auditioned for The Pest.
One of the kids that was playing basketball, or what were you going to be?
I'm not familiar with that. It's funny that you mentioned that because I think I auditioned for a scene that ended up getting cut out of the movie anyways.
Okay.
Where he goes to like a carnival.
Okay.
But yeah, I auditioned for that movie.
The movie is set and shot in Miami. And so I'm watching this movie.
Did you like the movie?
You got to check out Cinephobe to figure out whether I phobed it or filed it. But
tease.
Exactly. I'm a pro. So I'm watching this movie, and the movie was shot in like 96, 95, somewhere on that line, right? Because it came out in 97. And a lot of it is downtown Miami, like right around here where the Elser is. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, holy shit. You mean downtown Miami was clean and nice in the 90s? I thought like mayday in the 50s.
They cleaned it up for the production.
No,
I don't know about that.
It was clean and nice
Dude,
for that movie. And then downtown Miami.
City in the 50s?
downtown Miami in the 90s.
Seedy.
Dude, downtown Miami, before like basically the Elser came up, it was sketch. I've never had my car broken into more than this 1 square mile of land walking across the street to the game. Yeah. My car would always get broken into, and now it's gotten a lot cleaner, a lot safer because of all the active construction. People just generally that committed these crimes went away from the active bulldozers.
Gentrification Michael right here.
No, but there's actually like I do have some issues, quite a few, with what's going on in downtown Miami and people getting priced out. But there's a corridor over that way in downtown Miami that is kind of unchanged and in this weird purgatory. These buildings are too old, too dangerous to actually inhabit. They're eyesores. You do kind of have to do something about them, but the things that you have to do something about are unseemly. So we're kind of stuck here and have been for quite some time.
Well, I mean, some of the buildings that are old are like these nice, like I said, the old architecture, and I can see why you want to keep that. And some of them are like that building that's one big Art Basel installation. It's from the 70s. Just drop it already. Bring it down. Hey, guess who we're going to talk to next? Someone who finds things out.
Is he actually next?
Well,
I don't know. We'll find out.
No, not Izzy.
Howdy, folks. It's Mike Ryan, and it's college football season. It's NFL season. Those are pricey tickets in the marketplace. Sometimes they're often desirable and sold out. So where do you go? You go to Game Time. My trusty Game Time, the go-to place in the secondary ticket marketplace. And now Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. With Game Time Picks, it helps make curation easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, the whole entertainment world, really. You get all-in pricing, seat views, lowest price guaranteed, that's a big one, and Game Time's prolific ticket coverage. Take the guesswork out of buying football tickets and concert tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download Game Time today.
What time is it? Game time.
Dan Le Batard.
Pablo leads all of podcasting in reading while smiling. If you listen to ESPN Daily, he sounds like he's having the time of his life.
Stugotz.
Coming up next, I'm going to tell you how the Savannah Bananas are changing.
How do you know I'm
Savannah Bananas?
How do you know I'm smiling?
That's how I find my vocal range. Sometimes I just say Savannah Bananas. Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
This interview with Pablo Torre is presented by LinkedIn Jobs.
Pablo Torre Finds Out is the name of the show. His host is Pablo Torre. He joins us now. And Pablo, before we get into more serious matters, Miami was ranked the rudest city in America. Now, you as a native New Yorker who has frequented Miami quite a bit, how do you process that information?
The rudest.
The rudest.
Do they have a methodology for this? Was there a poll?
Oh God, man, just answer the question.
It's just a podcast topic, Pablo. Like we just
don't even answer it, bro. Just get out of here.
The data behind it is basically big game boomer. Like he's doing the math.
Exactly.
I just wasn't sure if you guys were getting butt cracked sports again.
No.
Sorry for trying to help.
I'm reading from the actual source, right?
Big game boomer.
It's from Preply.
Yes.
I never considered Miami rude.
There you go. See,
I mean, I'm not a driver in Miami. I'm an Uber passenger.
We didn't even discuss that part.
Now it makes sense.
Hellscape. We are pretty rude. Come on, give us that, Pablo. Now I'm upset. Like this guy doesn't think we're that rude.
Well, your rudeness in response to my allegation that you're not rude does prove the point, I suppose, of this poll.
Pablo, I've got the methodology here. Said we surveyed Americans across the country once again to determine if rudeness levels have changed since 2022 when our study was first published.
A lot of New Yorkers that came down to Miami.
So typically...
Here we go. We asked a variety of questions regarding the rude behaviors Americans witness in their city. We included everything from residents' politeness towards strangers and servers to inconsiderate usage of phones in public areas and more. We then applied scores to responses that indicated a higher frequency of rudeness and calculated the average score for each city. We then adjusted those scores on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 representing the rudest.
Typically, when you're doing a survey in any major American city, or at least a survey representative of America itself, I mean, I don't know, Mike and Amin, I presume you know the answer to this because you're of my generation, but you go to a certain mall, the Mall of America, in which you are going to survey 100 people to represent the sample of Americans. In Miami, where would you go to take a representative sample of Miami rudeness? I'm actually trying to wrap my mind.
I was like, good luck. Like
Dolphin Mall?
Like to sample Americans in Miami, good luck.
It's possible they just came here.
Yeah, the airport. The
Elser.
The airport. The airport in Miami.
They
I don't
heard
know.
Dan interview Christian Polanco.
Yeah, maybe one person in Doral. One spot in Doral. I don't know. Like it's tough.
Where's the watering hole where everyone gathers?
Right.
Flanagan's in Westchester.
There you go.
Oh, the one in Pinecrest?
Yeah.
Pablo, I have the categories here of behavior. We've got lack of self-awareness.
Okay, that makes sense. This track so far with Miami.
I kind of feel like we're pretty self-aware
Thank you.
that we're assholes and we know it.
Talking on speakerphone in a shared space.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We're really bad at that. We're really bad at that. But again,
They surveyed these offices.
Being loud in shared spaces.
They surveyed these offices.
Watching videos or listening to music out loud in a shared space.
I'm the chief offender of listening
They
to
rode the
music.
Metro Mover one time.
Lack of care for others.
I care about other people.
Not acknowledging strangers.
I don't like to acknowledge strangers.
Being absorbed by phones and not acknowledging others.
Yeah. I also don't like being approached by friends. So strangers, that one's easy.
Closed off body language.
Yeah, you see
He's
right
doing
now.
it right now.
I was going to say, for those not watching on the DraftKings Network, Mike's, he's crossing every limb available to him.
Mm-hmm.
Not respecting personal hygiene, space.
I smell very nice right now.
A lot of cologne.
A lot of cologne.
Greg showers
Too much
in his
cologne?
pool.
Not you, Miami.
not you
Miami.
individually.
Well, let me know. Keep
Just
me
collectively.
honest there.
Yeah,
Keep
we
me
will.
honest there.
All
But
right.
also do it without talking to me.
Yep, you got it.
Impoliteness with service staff members.
I mean, that happens here, and I feel bad about that. I'm very kind to service people.
This one is, they definitely got this from the Batard show. Allowing a phone to continue ringing in a shared space instead of muting. That was Greg Cody on Tuesday. It just kept dinging, and I kept counting them, and we wouldn't turn it off.
Count the dings.
There you go. Not letting others merge in front of them while driving.
Nah, but screw you.
You can't merge.
Because I know what you're doing. You went all the way to the emergency lane and they cut me off. No way, dude.
And the nerve of you to put on your blinkers.
How dare you?
You're going to try
Next
to tell
guy,
me
buddy.
you're going to get in my lane?
Next guy.
You're pretending that that's
off.
the situation.
Hold on.
That is Tony.
From the makers of not letting others merge, how about driving to the end of a closed lane to merge closer to
I can do that. You can't do that to me.
That
I can do
happened
that
to me
you.
this
You can't
morning.
do that to me.
That happened to me this morning, and I said, Lehman, don't let him in. Don't let him in.
It's every other
Do not let
car.
him in.
Really?
The monster
The
who
zipper.
doesn't want to go every other car. Those are the people I want.
Well,
I want to get
right-
out of my car and run up there and be
Chris?
like, you know, it's every other car, right?
It sounds like you're complaining about the next category, ignoring basic rules of the road.
Yeah.
No. If I live right by MDC, you know that extension that I'm talking about. If
Treacherous
you actually,
extension.
If you actually wait in that line,
Like a sheep.
You're a sucker.
You're a sucker. You're not from Miami at all.
You're not
And
from our area.
Everybody from Miami is actually skipping you and going to the front, and the reason why there is a traffic jam.
And finally, not slowing down or being cautious around pedestrians. Now I get to see what. Now
I've almost got hit by several cars just in the last months. Someone hit my dog a few weeks ago. Yeah, someone hit my dog.
Wait, what did you do? What did you do, and how? And are they okay?
We chased after them through an intersection, and they just kept going.
And then the person said, "I went to high school with Mike and Cynthia."
What's your name?
Plenty of jaywalkers in this town.
Speaking of all of this, Tony, why don't you tell this audience about the time that someone tripped and fell near you on your way to the train?
On the Metro Rail?
He had to catch it, so he didn't stop and help.
Dude, I've seen some people biff it on the Metro Rail.
Mike, we go to the same station, and there's the stairs that have 6 different levels, and then there's the escalator behind the stairs, right?
If the escalator's ever working, yeah.
Correct. Well, you have 2 stairs, 1 escalator, 1 stair. But there was one time where the train you get out of the elevator, and the train is bearing down, so you got to haul ass. Make sure you're going up those steps, high knees all the way up there, to make sure you catch the last part of the train to get in, right? So I see that. I beep in, another lady beeps in with me, right? So we're kind of moving, the train's passing us. I'm like, all right, I've got about 30 seconds to get up these stairs and get 25 yards into that train.
She ate it.
So we're about halfway up the stairs. I see her go down. I look back and I'm like, oh my God, that sucks. Yeah. I'm high knees. I get into the train. I see her. The door's closed and I'm like,
oh wow. And that's why Miami is Rudest.
They probably surveyed her.
Pablo, first off, this is why I ask my questions about methodology. Good conversation on a podcast, guys. Sparked by my inquiry. Second of all, if the primary criteria for rudeness is ignoring human suffering, as embodied by Tony's just anecdote, New York is the worldwide leader in rudeness. The number of things, you remember this. I am so numb to actual human suffering in New York because because I'm walking here. I got places to be. We presume that person who is clearly suffering is just like that, and
Well, because you don't want to get into something more. If it was just helping someone up, I think people do it. But the problem is,
I would have missed the train though.
It opens the door. And missing the train is the least of your concerns because then you help her up, and it turns out she's into something else, and you're like, oh my God! If I just minded my business,
this is just going to mean more problems for me if I'm actually nice here.
Pablo, I do want to ask you. We were talking about this earlier. Marvin Harrison Jr. You can't buy his jersey because he's embroiled in a lawsuit with Fanatics. Fanatics is claiming breach of contract.
Yeah, can you find out about them?
Marvin Harrison Jr. say, I never signed.
Can I cut this conversation short before you get to the senior part of this?
They're too powerful. No one actually wants to acknowledge that, hey, consumers here are kind of holding the bag as this entire industry moves toward cheaper quality and more frustration. The convenience is great. I'll give them that. But they are so powerful that I risk a lot by even acknowledging the fact that, sports merchandise, it's kind of, from a quality standpoint, dipped.
Wait, so how much, let me ask this, I mean this, how much of the fear, Mike, that you are detecting, because my fear was more in the direction of the Harrison family.
Oh, well, I have that. But what my whole thing is, if you have problems with Fanatics, they might be solved now because of this lawsuit.
Well, okay, so how much, though, of the fear or the implication of their power and their network is because of the white party?
I want to. There's a Pablo Torre finds out about this white party. I have a whole lot. I've only shown a card. I got a whole bunch of Fanatics cards here, but I've legitimately harmed my career. And by being on this show, it's kind of cyclical in that I don't have any other options anymore. I've burned all those bridges, and I've just burned another one right now. But there's a lot going on there, and I have some issues. And by bringing forth this lawsuit and invoking the father, you messed up.
Not great. Not great. Can I go back to the New York thing for a second here, though? We can get back to the sports business side of this. By the way, the sporting class came out today on Pablo Torre Finds Out feed. Rich Guys Only fans, John Skipper, David Sampson. They will answer questions that you are curious about relating to how rich guys do rich things. You
cover private equity in this episode?
Yes, today was why private equity has come to the NFL, why the NFL has given in to an industry that, as any journalist, grocery store customer, music fan, anything, abhors and has great concern about, rightfully. Why is the NFL, which has all the money already, why are they inviting them in? John and David explain, which is really, really interesting. Okay, so the New York thing, is about whether you're a walking city or not. because it is about how many people you might encounter that could plausibly be suffering that you could actually come face to face with or within feet of. And so the driving thing, which was very triggering to you guys, as you guys all collectively revealed by just simultaneously shouting your complaints about what it's like to be a driver in Miami, I think proves the point. In New York, where I got my driver's license at age like 26, I think, I'm walking around all of the time, which means my rate of encountering people who could plausibly need a New Yorker's help, but only receive from those New Yorkers total just blinkered horse running the Kentucky Derby sort of focus. It just happens too much. And I think that's a key part of it.
I have a revelation in that I am actually taking an active role in making Miami less rude. I have made political donations with the caveat that they can address one thing about Miami's rudeness that really bothers me. Most developed countries have a sign around their public transit terminals that say, if you're on this escalator and you're not in a hurry, stand to the right.
Yeah.
And if you're in a hurry, to allow the people that are in a hurry to run past you on the left. We don't do that here. It's a disgusting thing that we do where people think it's totally fine. Oh, that guy one step ahead of me is standing to the left. Let me take this step right below and stand to the right and essentially blockade Mike, who's in a hurry, who misses his train 7 times out of 10 because people do this. I have made political donations begging, if I give you this money, put a sign up.
The airport walk-a-lator party.
Oh,
dude.
We have to stand side by side because we're together. I'm like, no,
the
you
airport,
don't.
it's fine. You have luggage, but like this is public transit.
I'm about
people
to stiff arm a child.
People are
if
in
you're
a
standing
hurry.
on the left lane on a walk-a-lator in an airport.
Dude, it's the worst.
Thank you, Pablo.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, we had the appetizer last week, but now it's time to feast. College football is back. Don't miss any of the action. Jump in with DraftKings Sportsbook. It's a full slate of games for week 1, including the big matchup in Atlanta between the preseason number 1 and number 16. All you newbies getting into the college football spirit, here's something extra special. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings all college football season long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code DAN. That's code DAN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball.
Don Batard.
It sounds to me like everybody could use a hug because a hug is always the right size.
Stugotz.
All I have put in my body today is 3 cups of coffee and an entire cup of honey.
Go to the penalty box.
Don't let him fool you. He said in the break that he's jittery.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Big Thursday, a lot of football, lots to talk about.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? We should not be talking about Colorado at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I think we're all Colorado'd out, right?
I want to talk about Colorado. I really want to.
I thought we could do some U.S. Open talk right here.
We could absolutely do that, and we should do that. Definitely not Colorado, but we should definitely talk about Colorado. I want to talk about Colorado.
A little bit.
Do you want to talk about Colorado, Mike?
Me? That's your idea. If you want to talk about Colorado, you're inclined to do so. I'm just along for the ride.
Guys, we can't do this while Dan's gone. That's not nice.
Well,
And
you
then
know
he
what?
comes back and no one wants to talk
Then
about
Colorado,
it.
we're all Colorado'd out, right?
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
I get so like
We
they
shouldn't do
turn
it.
on the TVs, all they're doing is talking about Colorado. It's
know.
like I know what you're trying to do. I'm wise to the game. The game is on your network. You're trying to get me to watch Colorado, thinking that would work, and it absolutely has. I cannot wait for this game. I'm so locked in. I'm so locked into this game, but we shouldn't talk about it.
We should be talking about a different school with the colors black and gold in the Big 12. Am I right?
Ah, shut up, Jeremy.
Now I will definitely talk about Colorado over that team. Let's talk about Colorado, please.
okay.
Because look, they're 0-0 right now. Vibes are. Usually vibes are supposed to be good, especially around a Deion Sanders program right now. But vibes are not good.
Why not?
Well, some people are pointing the finger at the head coach because of how he's treating the media and an off season of, I don't think turmoil is too strong of a word. An off season of, hey, what's going on over there? Is how I would put it. Hey, what's going on over there? And certainly questions that are being asked of that program that wouldn't be asked if they were a better program. They're a byproduct. What's going on with Colorado is they're a byproduct. There's already Colorado fatigue. The season hasn't even started yet. They're a byproduct of what they brought in. They wanted all this media attention. They got a lightning rod for a head coach, one that is media friendly to certain media outlets that gravitate over to him because he does move the needle. His Colorado games rate because of Deion Sanders.
They're looking for people who prop up the cult of personality.
Yes.
That's who he's
propping him up to eventually tear him down. And a lot of people are calling this a setup from the outset. And I'm on that level. Like, I kind of see what's happening here, but I'm also a contributing factor to the other side. I'm fascinated by what's happening because we've never had a player ascend the ladder. Like, yeah, I'll come to college football. I better be a head coach, and I'm not going to wait around forever for my next opportunity.
Right.
So fast-tracked, as a black man, it's very difficult to get these positions of power.
Sure
and he
is.
does it a totally different way than everybody else. And people are rooting for him. People are also rooting against him. I have my thoughts on his general approach. I think most people would agree, although it's very vogue right now to – yeah, F the media. Like, I'm with you.
He's definitely tapping into a vibe that already exists. He's not created this.
No.
He's just pandering to that segment of the population.
I saw the David Sampson segment that you guys had yesterday. He saw this coming from a mile away, and he put it in his contract. If I don't want to talk to a certain media company, I don't have to, which a bit of a red flag, but okay. If you're already preparing for that.
I wonder how much he had to give up to get that, or if he had to give up anything at all. Was it just an ask and they were like, sure, go ahead?
That's kind of how Colorado's athletic department was rolling at the time. I've spoken to people that have spoken to people.
Whoa.
They're kind of along for the ride here, and they understand that they don't really have any moves here, but also he's pumped in a ton of revenue into that program that was dying for revenue.
That university, not just a program, man. Like they've made it.
Oh, a bunch of people are applying to Colorado because it presented well on TV. When game day went out there, man, this seems fun. If I'm in that part of the country, I want to be there. If I'm a prospective football player, I want to be around that energy. I want my coach to have my back in those profound ways. It's a different way than other coaches do, but you could see, like, while some people may see his treatment of his sons and Travis Hunter as, hey, that's a little problematic. Like, you're very clearly putting these guys on a pedestal and treating them differently than everybody else, that might really appeal to certain recruits. I am a different talent.
Yeah, the blue chips want to know that, hey, man, we're not. It's the old Animal Farm thing. It's like all animals are created equal, but some are more equal than others. Right?
I don't necessarily. I'm just curious. I want to take this as data and see how it actually works out. Going in, if I had to make a prediction, is this going to be a smashing success or an utter disaster? And I had to make a pick, I'd say I kind of think that this is going to be disaster because there's this is a very unconventional approach to a sport that is very conventional.
Yeah. And I'm curious also, last year, obviously, there was a lot of hoopla and hype, to be seen at a Colorado game at the beginning of the year, particularly. That was a thing. Like, celebrities were flying out and stuff. Do you think that same energy carries over this season where people still want to be there even after the tough ending last year?
If they win, yes. It's an infectious energy, and I think the machine, which is now kind of working against Colorado, and Colorado fans have always been sensitive. Like, they've never been, in the era of social media, Colorado's...
Have you ever been?
I've never been a Boulder. I've actually never been to the state of Colorado.
Really?
Yeah, it was a bummer.
Nice place, dude.
It seems
Sunshine State.
Beautiful. No, like I said, it presents well. It's not the Sunshine State.
Look it up.
If you do want to
Isn't that
go to a
us?
game,
Look it up.
I know an app that can
Us in
help you get a
California.
ticket.
What?
Wow, thank you so much for the lob.
Yeah.
I'm going to circle back to Colorado, but I appreciate the lob here because, as you know, I'm not in for the rest of the week. And I want to talk to you about Game Time because there's plenty of football tickets out there that are desirable, tennis tickets. I actually had a friend that checked Game Time for U.S. Open tickets. I'm going to be checking that out for many big-time college football games across this season. Pro football, as you know, I rep the Shield. So my first stop is the Game Time app. Create an account. Use the code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. One of those terms, it has to be your first purchase, and you have to put in that promo code DAN. Download the Game Time app today. Chris Cody, what time is it? Game time! Ooh. She at the buy-in. Howdy, folks. It's Mike Ryan, and it's college football season. It's NFL season. Those are pricey tickets in the marketplace. Sometimes they're often desirable and sold out. So where do you go? You go to Game Time. My trusty Game Time, the go-to place in the secondary ticket marketplace. And now Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. With Game Time Picks, it helps make curation easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, the whole entertainment world, really. You get all-in pricing, seat views, lowest price guaranteed, that's a big one, and Game Time's prolific ticket coverage. Take the guesswork out of buying football tickets and concert tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download Game Time today.
What time is it? Game time.